Hey guys, it's Movie Man, and today I will be discussing why Ghostbusters 1984 is my favorite movie of all time. I will not need any jot notes for this one. So, 1984's Ghostbusters is my favorite movie, as I've just said, of all time. Now, if people ask me what I think is the greatest film ever made, I would say The Godfather Part 2 or the first one. But that's in a general sense, that's not my favorite film. My favorite film is Ghostbusters. And I'll tell you why. So we'll get comfy, get cozy, because this one is going to be a fun story. So, when I was a kid, back when Rogers was a thing, I used to go rent out movies every weekend. And one weekend, my dad brought a copy of Ghostbusters, and never seen the film before. Never even heard about it. And so he puts the movie in. I remember I was around 7 years old. He puts the film in and I'm watching it. And my eyes were glued to the screen. I could not believe what I was watching. It was an astonishing piece of film. And I was totally mesmerized by it. And I just wanted to see it again. So since we rented the film, we had to return it the next day. And so every single week I would ask, because we'd rent another movie, I'd ask for Ghostbusters because that's all I wanted to see. And so we'd rent it every single time. And I started to mesmerize the lines, and I'd cheer at certain parts and be scared at parts. And then came around Christmas time and my birthday, I got Ghostbusters for my birthday. Now that same year, I know this may sound really, really bad. I was unaware of Ghostbusters too. And so I think I found it on VHS. And I watched it on my TV, and it's not as good as the first. I could discuss that in a review sometime. But Ghostbusters 2 does get a lot of a bad rep, and I don't understand why. It's not as good as the first. It's not as good as the first, hands down, no. But at the same time, it's still a lot of fun. You get the original cast. You get to spend time with them. It's fun. You get Bill Murray. You get the gang. It's a fun movie. I enjoyed it. And then after that, I really became obsessed with it, and so got my own copy of the movie. And since I got my own copy, I would just watch it on constantly. And there would be things every single time I'd watch that I never realized the first time. And I'll break down why I believe it's. Well, I'm not going to go out on a limb and say it's the greatest film of all time. I think it is. And I will discuss my reasons why. But I'm going to finish with my personal account of the film, and then I'll get into that. So, after I've watched the movie now probably around 300 to 400 times, probably. That's somewhere around the 300 to 400 mark. And I can quote every line, I can tell you every scene, I can tell you behind the scenes thing about the movie too. And I don't know, the film just has a warm place in my heart, probably because I discovered it in my youth, and it's just always been there. And what I find so great about the film and why it's so compelling to me is it's so different. It's so fun as well, and I love it for that. It takes a serious plot, and its approach and execution to it is outstanding, because you have these three scientists, and they get fired from university and they start their own ghost extermination business. Then after Winston comes along, the everyman, and they exterminate ghosts, and then they have to go against the ghosts of the Gazarian, and it gets bigger and bigger, and I love the imagination into it. The script is hilarious. The lines are Very, very funny. And then you also, on top of the great, strong, structured story, you have a fantastic cast. You got Bill Murray, you got Harold Ramis, you got Rick Moranis, you got Dan Aykroyd, you got Ernie Hudson, you got Sigourney Weaver, and it's directed by Ivan Reitman. And so, the same team who also helped with Animal House. And and then also the film really pushes its on it really pushes itself, I find, for a PG rated movie in the 80s. There's a lot of stuff in that movie, if you were to make it today, would not make it into the final cut. And I respect, like, I just find it great. It's just a lot of fun. It also, hard to argue this one, has one of the most, if not the catchiest movie theme song of all time. Ray Parker Jr.'s Ghostbusters theme. And then you have a great score piece by Elmer Bernstein, sorry. And on top of that, you get great performances. Bill Murray gives one of his best performances because he had a lot of dialogue, but he used hardly any of it, and he ad-libs most of his lines, and it's fantastic. As well as the film's spooky. It's funny, it's also spooky. That's what I love about it. There's an even balance of both themes and both tones. So it has this element of fun and also some spooky kind of like Halloween, creepy kind of vibes to it. And I love that because there's some legitimate scary things that scared me as a child. I don't want to get into spoil. I may have to spoil this here, but there's a scene in the film where Dana is sitting in her chair. A lot of people who know me will know what I'm talking about, which is the scene, that specific scene where the arm comes up and grabs her by her mouth, and the chair turns 360 around and drags her into the door, and the terror dog is standing right there, scared the crap out of me as a child. And I kind of thought it was brilliant because you're able to make me laugh, you're able to make me scared, and they're effective. And then it has a ton of heart and spirit, and then there's also romance. I find it romantic too. You can say the relationship between Dana and Peter is it's very romantic. And you also have this kind of like side plot with Janine and Egon. So there is some relationship stuff going on there. It's very sweet. It's not over the top. It's not it's not cheesy. It's actually very relatable and very grounded. Like the scene when she goes and Peter and her talk in her apartment, and he just tries to go for her, and she's totally not having it. It's so much more relatable because that's how some, if a guy was telling her, that's how it could go down. Is she just totally isn't buying into it. And I love that it isn't like way over the top, and it's just moderately done. And then to add to that, you also have what else? You have maybe one of the most iconic movie cars, not as iconic as the DeLorean from Back to the Future. That is still the best movie car. But the Ecto-1 is a gorgeous car, and it's an amazing vehicle for them to drive in. Everything about the movie I love. I also love the attention to detail. Dan Aykroyd really got into this film and wanted to make it as detailed and as possible, showing about ghost extermination. And it's great. What else is... It's a buddy movie. It also shows about teamwork and working together, and just if you work together and you work as a team, you can amount to great things. And I love that. It's a feel-good movie. When you finish the movie, like, you cannot not have had a bad experience watching Ghostbusters. It's just such a fun film. It has a great setup, great chemistry among the actors, great laughs, scary at times. It makes you laugh a lot. It has an incredibly original premise. What other premise can you think of that is like Ghostbusters. You can. There's no other movie where like scientists try to be or ghost exterminators, and then there's a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man by the end of the movie. It just doesn't happen, and it's all thanks to the creative mind of Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis. And I love the originality. I love the concept. And when I was a kid, I think a lot of kids also, I wanted a proton pack. And I just got one from Spirit Halloween last year, and it's my pride and joy. I love it. I also just recently got the PK meter. I'm a massive Ghostbusters fan, and it's all thanks to this one movie that just really struck a chord in me when I was a kid and just really stayed there and has forever stayed there and will forever stay there due to the impact it had on me. And I love the movie. It's my favorite film. I can turn it on anytime. If I'm studying, it's great. I can just listen to it as background noise. I can turn on anytime. If it's on TV, I'll sit down and watch it. It's so rewatchable. There's a very few movies where I can just watch it anytime, and I can watch as many times, and I will never get tired of it. Very few movies I've seen have made that big of an impact on me. Another film that would be kind of like that probably be Back to the Future, the first one. So, yeah, or Raiders of the Lost Ark. So that's why Ghostbusters is my favorite movie. It's a hell of a film. It's wild, it's funny, it's spooky, it's funny. It's got freaking Bill Murray, a terrific cast. It's just a sheer enjoyment to be had that everyone should watch. If you have not seen it, please, I beg you to watch this movie. You will not regret watching it. It's fantastic. It's a fun 80s movie, and it's just terrific. And these reasons are why Ghostbusters is so meaningful to me, and why I love it so much, and why I try to get everyone I know to see this movie, because it is so damn good. So that is my thoughts on why, and my reasoning why Ghostbusters is my favorite film. I thought I'd like to tell you guys because I don't think I've ever discussed my favorite movie with you, and I thought it'd be a fun thing to do, and tell a bit more about myself and what my favorite films are. And I may even discuss some other films that I really, really like and why I like them, because I enjoy opening up to you guys and talking to you about my movies, because that's my thing. So, again, that's the reason why I love Ghostbusters. I probably will touch upon Ghostbusters 2 sometime. Don't know when, but I definitely will. But those are my reasons why Ghostbusters is my favorite film. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and share this video. And I will be uploading more content very, very soon, so watch out for that. And until then, this is Movie Man, signing off.